time you walk into the room, got me feeling crazy, shot my heart boom boom. Any other boy would stare, but me I look away, cause you're making me scared. Trying not to breathe, 1, 2, 3.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Zulianawati. I am the 5th semester of Hamzan Wadi University and I am from D class from English department. In this video, I'd like to do my seminar thesis proposal with the title The Implementation of Active Learning Strategies to Enhance Students' Interest in English Language among Elementary School Students. And directly to my first chapter, the first one is Introduction. A language is a social communication system which is utilized written on oral form used by people to convey and interact each other. A language is a communication tool organized in parts such as words, phrase, clause, and sentences that expressed in oral or written form. That is based on Wiratno and Antosa 2014. While English as a global communication language which is used in teaching and learning process has 4 proficiency, which are reading, listening, speaking, and writing, that are undoubtedly crucial for people in academic environment. Those can be applied using active learning strategies in learning process. So, what is actually the meaning of active learning strategy? Yeah, active learning strategy is any type of activity during classes, face-to-face, even from offline or online classes, that engages learners in deep thought about the subject matter in course. Well, the next is the focus of the study. This research focuses on the implementation of active learning strategies to enhance students' interest in learning English language among elementary school students. Exactly, this study will conduct at SDN 2 Labuan Haji. And the next is the purpose of the study. This research has several research objects, which are: the first is to examine the perception of the teachers towards the use of active learning strategies, and the second is to explore whether active learning strategies are being practiced by teachers in elementary school. Okay, and next is the significance of the study. The significance of this study are: the first is this study expected to give some useful information for students to know what learning strategy they can use for increasing their learning English interest. And the second is as a reference for future researchers. Okay, then we continue to second chapter. Here is about English language. The first is the definition of English language. English language is the first choice of foreign language in most other countries of the world, and it is status that has given it the position for global lingua franca. It is estimated that about a third of world's population, some 2 billion persons, now use English. The data is based on David Crystal and Simon Potter 2024. And the second is about skills in English language. English consists of 4 skills which are divided into 2 parts. The first part is called productive skills, which consists of speaking and writing. And the second part is called receptive skills, which consists of listening and reading. This data is from Sharma 2021. Okay, then we continue to active learning strategies. The first here is definition of active learning strategies. Active learning strategy is teaching methods that engage students as active participants in their learning rather than passively receiving materials from the teacher. Active learning requires students to become active participants in learning process. And the second is the concept of active learning strategy. The concept of active learning strategy originated in progressive education movements in the late 19th century advocating for experiential, student-centered approaches to replace the prevalent passive training model based on Bonwell and Eisen 1991. Compared to passive learning strategy,
And
active
the next
learning
is the
better
benefits of
promote
active learning
deep
strategy.
understanding, skill
Active
building,
learning
and more
strategy are an
efficient
effort
meaningful
and
cognitive
opportunity for
engagement in the
students to
learning
actively
process.
build their knowledge. That is based on Patel and Kamarikar 2020. In today's increasingly challenging educational era, active learning is seen as impetus and a necessity that can improve students' achievement. Although active learning has been practiced for decades in the education system and traditional student-centered learning, here are the relevant studies. The first is the research conducted by Asari 2015. The application of active learning starts with equation or LSK type to improve the accounting learning activeness of 10G students of SMA Negeri 5 Yogyakarta in the 2014 and 2016 academic year. The similarity to the research title is the implementation of active learning in enhanced students' interest, and the difference is in the location and the subject. And the second is conducted by Zakia 2024 with the title The Implementation of Active Learning Strategy in Increasing Students' Interest in Fixed Subject at MI Pembangunan UIN Jakarta. The similarity is data collection methods and the implementation of active learning strategy in enhancing students' interest. But the difference is the subject and take place. The next is the theoretical framework. Thesis used Vygotsky's theory that said a person's cognitive development is obtained from their involvement in the community or society. Vygotsky's theory also said that social interaction plays an important role in a person's cognitive development. And the research question of this study is how is the implementation of active learning strategy can improve elementary school students' interest in English learning. The next is the research design. This research was a descriptive qualitative study based on the interview and observation to the 5th grade students of SDN 2 Labuan Haji. Consider the following steps on the research design. The first is classroom observation. The second is interview. The third is analyzing the result of the observation and interview data. And the last is presenting the result of the data collected. And the next is the setting of the study. In this study, researcher will conduct the research at SD Negeri 2 Labuan Haji, which is located at Labuan Haji, East Lombok, Indonesia. And it will carry from September. The consideration in choosing the location is because the implementation of active learning strategy in learning English is routinely carried out in this school and has been ongoing for a year. Because the English language teaching start from the 3rd class until the 6th class, so I took the 5th class to be the participant of the study. The participants in this study were students from the 5th class who use active learning strategy in their learning activities. The total population in this study will be all the members of the 5th grades, which has 27 participants. Here is the data collection. The first is English language. English language refers to the global communication language which has been chosen from most other countries to use in communication. And the second is active learning strategy. Active learning strategy is a type of learning process that is carried out with face-to-face in the class or even online learning using web as a classroom. And the next here is the instrument of the study. This research used observation and interview as an instrument for collecting the data. According to Andrea and James, interviewing is one of the most common and powerful ways in which we try to understand our fellow human beings. Interviewing includes a wide variety of forms and a multiplicity of uses. And the next is the technique of collecting data. The data collection technique in this research will by observation and interview to the students in 5th grade. Furthermore, after the data is collected, the researcher will resume and conclude the result of observation and interview that conducted. The next step is the researcher will evaluate the result of the data collection. And the last here is data analysis. In data analysis, the researcher will use qualitative descriptive analysis. The research method we'll use in this research is classroom observation and interview, because the purpose of the research is to examine the perception in the implementation of active learning strategy enhanced as the N28 Haji students' interest in learning English. Based on Boglan and Beacon 27, explain that the characteristic of the qualitative research are the natural settings as direct source of the data. And maybe that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any question, just contact me here. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.